welcome to Sports Talk with L-Beasley. It is Tuesday afternoon here for me in Detroit, Michigan. And you already know what I'm about to discuss, that Monday night football game that went down last night. And my prediction was right. Chicago Bears ended up beating the Dallas Cowboys 34-18. No surprise there. Jay Cutler had another big game against Dallas Cowboys. It's the second time he's done that. And as I said, I picked Chicago not because I'm a fan of Chicago or I completely trust Chicago. I just trust Chicago a little bit more than I do Dallas when it comes to a consistency level and, players making plays. And, I'll get to Chicago in a minute, but I just really want to discuss Dallas real quick. Tony Romo had a horrible game, 5 interceptions, had 307 passing yards, but obviously only 1 passing touchdown, and everything else, once again, was turnovers, 5 interceptions. Now, for me personally, I would say out of those 5, 2 weren't his fault. The first one with Bryant was a misread, by Bryant, in my opinion. Now, at the end of the day, Romo, I played quarterback, so I played a little quarterback, back when I was little, but not a lot. So I don't really like to speak on the quarterback position like that too much because I don't know what the heck y'all go through as quarterbacks. Anybody who play quarterback, I don't know what y'all go through, so I'm not gonna pretend I do. But at the end of the day, I felt like that one was still a little bit his fault. But at the end of the day, it is a miscommunication between him and Bryant. And then the one with Ogletree, that was Ogletree's fault. He put it right in your hands, you didn't catch it, you tipped it, and it ends up, Chicago ends up making a play off of it. The other 3 I kind of got to blame on Romo. I could blame it on receivers probably too, but at the end of the other 3 I'm probably going to blame on Romo. But at the end of the day, same thing I said about New York yesterday. You cannot put everything on a quarterback and say that it's the quarterback's fault that this team is not succeeding. Now, I'm not a fan of Romo at all. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at the other things. First of all, once again, that offensive line is not protecting him at all. What is the problem? Once again, the running game is non-existent. So only rush for 41 yards? DeMarco Murray only had 24 yards rushing off 11 carries? Are you kidding me? Receivers not making catches. Receivers not getting open. And then I had to even go deeper than that and start looking at the coaching staff. I got this high-paid offensive coordinator and O-lineman coach, Garrett and Callahan. What are y'all doing? In the last 12 quarters that Dallas Cowboys have played, they've only generated 3 touchdowns. Seems like that's a problem to me. And like I said, it's not like these coaches is getting cheap money here. They're getting paid for this, and you can't generate more than 3 touchdowns in the last 12 quarters? And like I said, it just goes back to execution of everything. O-line doesn't block for Romo, and they don't block for the running game. Receivers got to make catches. This is the first time I've seen Jason Witten really show up the entire season. Dez Bryant, what's wrong with you? It's really starting to make you wonder, is Dez Bryant even worth all this trouble? I go back to Murray. What you doing, man? 24 yards. Where's that guy we saw? I think, what was that, game opener? Rushing for 131? Where is that guy at? Ogletree, where is that guy we saw who was trying to become a rising star in the NFL? Come on, guys. Romo cannot do it by himself. And like I said, I'm not one to just say Romo did nothing wrong, because he did. Like I said, 3 of those interceptions to me are just horrible plays by Romo, period. But to me, that's just typical Romo. As I said, that's typical Jay Cutler. That's typical Romo. That's typical Tom Brady when he leads his team back to a victory. Certain things is just typical. That is just typical of that person or that player. But at the end of the day, like I said, I still got to go back to the foundation. Coaching staff, what are y'all doing? Like I said, Garrett, Callahan, y'all the offensive line and coordinator, offensive line coach. What's the problem? Get your O-lineman to block Callahan, and Garrett Garrett just get some points on the board. Like I said, it's really just mis-execution towards the end. And I think that was really frustrating for what I saw from the Cowboys. You get into the red zone, then you can't score. And that's what's frustrating. You don't walk away on no field goals because you turn the ball over. And then once again, it doesn't get easier for Dallas. You have out of your next 5 games, 4 of them are on the road. The only one that you play here, or I shouldn't say here, in Dallas, is against the New York Giants. So that means you got to play Baltimore at Baltimore. You got to play the Panthers at Carolina. You got to play the Falcons at Atlanta. And you got to play, who is that last team they got? They got to play Philly and Philly. They got to play the Eagles in Philadelphia. So the only team you get at your place off this little, basically in your next 5 games is the Giants. And that's not necessarily, count your blessings in that one because, playing at the New York Giants place is crazy. But at the end of the day, it doesn't get any easier. And if I don't start seeing those basic things start to, get executed and start to improve and start seeing consistency from those players and in those things, I don't think the Dallas is going to be successful. like I said, Romo played horrible. Yes, he did. But I'm not going to put it all on Romo when I can, like I said, when I can say, well, you got to have a running game. As I've always said 20,000 times, you got to be two-dimensional in this league. You got to be two-dimensional in this league, in college, to be successful. You can't just pass the ball and think that you're going to just run over everybody. Or you're going to, and if you can't run the ball all the time and think you're going to run over everybody. You can't be that way anymore. You have to be two-dimensional. So once again, Murray needs to get going. Receiver crew, make y'all catches. Jason Witten, I need to see some better execution out of you. Dez Bryant, get it together. Learn how to run your route. Study your playbook. I mean, aren't you on a curfew or something? Come on, man. But these were missed opportunities by you too. Ogletree, step up. I want Austin to get the ball a little bit more. I want to see better execution from the O-line, the receiving crew, and the running back. I think if we get that, and just better play calling, quite frankly. But if we see that, I think that the Dallas Cowboys would be okay. And I'm not even a Dallas Cowboy fan. Moving on to the Bears, Jay Cutler, it's, like I said, it seems like after he has a national television meltdown, he does fine. And it's just something about him in Dallas, like I said, at least the last, couple years, he just seems to do well against them. But I'm not reading more into it. And, the thing about Chicago that makes me laugh is, once again with Chicago, I laugh at them because they really do have the potential to be that team, one of those top teams in the NFC. They kind of don't have an excuse anymore. With the exception of the poor offensive line, you have a good quarterback when he calms down and, O-line blocks for him, which, like I said, Jay Cutler, he can make the plays. We know he can. He just, for whatever reason, can't. Last couple years, he lost his mind. You got a good running back in Forte, and even if he gets hurt, you still got a good running back in Butch. You got a nice receiving crew now. You got Hester, you got Jeffrey, you got Davis, you got Marshall. So you got a good receiving crew. Obviously, y'all defense is still what it used to be. It's not necessarily as hard-hitted and as young as they used to be, obviously, but still an elite defense that, we can call, probably top 5, top 10 in the NFL, no question. So at the end of the day, I'm really not surprised at what Chicago did. Personally, I think Chicago should be doing that more often. As I said time and time again, Chicago needs to get better with their consistency. Like I said, obviously Matt Forte's hurt. Like I said, even him and Bush, when they're in there together, are a lethal combination. They're lethal anyway by themselves, but I personally like to see Forte and Bush in there at the same time. It's just really a monster. But basically what I was really impressed with is they got Brandon Marshall involved very early, which is what I wanted to see. That was what I was really kind of waiting on, because I didn't really like that. They kind of will wait to get Brandon Marshall involved, or they won't get him involved at all. And I didn't like that, because I said that before. If you're going to have Brandon Marshall, get him involved. He'll make the play. He got some issues off the field, yes. But we all know Brandon Marshall is a heck of a receiver when he wants to be and when you give him the ball. And he showed that last night. What did he get? 7 receptions, 138 yards, and a touchdown? That's the Brandon Marshall I remember. And that's the Brandon Marshall that I think can help Chicago if you get him the ball. And then it opens up the doors for people like Hester, like Jeffrey, like Davis. Because now it's opening up that door because they so focused on Brandon, which is what you want. So if I'm Chicago, take this win, learn from what you didn't do right, and take it all in and go to your next game if I'm Chicago. Because like I said, Chicago, y'all have the potential to do what y'all want to do this year as far as making it to playoffs, maybe causing, some, I don't think y'all going to win a Super Bowl, but I think y'all have enough, y'all team to really cause some issues and be a nice little team in the NFC to worry about who can maybe cause an upset. But Jay Cutler, you need to calm down, quit yelling at people, quit walking away from your offensive coordinator like you 5. I saw that too. Stop that, man. You're a grown man. Act like it. This is a business. You don't walk away from your offensive coordinator. You do what you're supposed to do. You listen. I don't care if you agree, you disagree. You listen and you respect that man. Like I said, it's all just about the chemistry and consistency of execution. They do that. Chicago could definitely cause some problems. Like I said, not surprised if they beat Dallas. Like I said, hopefully it gets it together because, like I said, next 5 games, y'all best chance of winning the next 5 games might be Carolina. Might be. And if it goes down to the ringer, to the end, I don't even trust y'all to do that. So at the end of the day, Dallas needs to get it together. Chicago, like I said, take what you did right and what you did wrong in this game and take it to your next matchup. And that's really all I got to say on that matter. Another thing I really just want to discuss, it was a little bit of NBA. I didn't really discuss it too much yesterday, but, as you guys know, NBA training camps have been starting all over the league for different teams. So, media day was yesterday for a lot of teams and things like that. So, I just really wanted to bring up a couple things that came to mind. The first one was Kobe Bryant was asked, is this still his team? And at first he kind of said, well, I guess the question was, whose team is this? The Lakers meaning that. And he said, well, he doesn't really want to get into it, but he said, first we share it. He said, you know what? No, it's my team. But what I really love, which no surprise to hear Kobe Bryant say, no, it's my team. We know that's Kobe Bryant's team. It's going to be Kobe Bryant's team probably to the day he retires. But at the end of the day, I love what he said after that. But he said, I want to make sure that that is Dwight Howard's team when he retires. He wants this team to be Dwight Howard's. And that was really just big to see of Kobe Bryant saying, you know what, I want to take this young guy who doesn't necessarily or hasn't shown us leadership at all at any point in time. And I want to take him and I want him to learn from me, from Steve, from Paul, from Meta, from Antoine Jameson, and whoever else is on this team who can be beneficial. I want him to learn from us. So when I do leave, speaking as far as Kobe, I can go and know that this guy has the team taken care of. And I like hearing that. I'm a Kobe fan. I wasn't always a Kobe fan. He had to earn my respect just like any other player has to. But, it was just nice to hear him say that, especially since we all, Kobe's always been deemed as selfish or doesn't care about the better of his team. And I'm not saying that Kobe can't be selfish. I'm not saying he don't ball hog. I'm not saying none of that because he do. He can be selfish when he want to be. He can be a ball hog when he want to be. I ain't got nothing really to say on that. But at the end of the day, it was just really, really nice to just hear him say, I really want to turn Dwight Howard into that leader for this team and just in his career period. And it was great to hear Dwight Howard say he's willing to go through that process, learn from one of the greatest. And I hope he means that. It's one thing to say it, speaking on Dwight Howard now, because I know Kobe's going to follow through with it. But it's one thing for Dwight to say, I'm willing to go through the process and I'm willing to learn. We're going to see if you're willing to learn because Kobe's not an easy teacher and neither is Steve Nash, Antoine Jameson, Paul Gasol, or any of those other guys. So I hope he really does take advantage of what he's able to do with the Lakers, whether he's there for a year, because obviously, like I say, he didn't sign the contract extension yet, so we don't really even know if he's going to be here past next year. We'll see what happens. Not going to really, like I said, touch on that. But I hope he does take advantage, whether he's here for a year or a decade with the Lakers. I really do hope that he takes advantage of, like I said, what Kobe just said. I want Dwight Howard to be that leader, and I want to help him become that leader. Take advantage of it. Speaking of leaders, there's been a lot of talk going on with the Houston Rockets right now as far as Jeremy Lin. Is he going to be that leader for the team? Because most people who know the Houston Rockets know that they have relatively a young team. And I think it's going to be good for them to be a young team, and I'll get to that in a minute. But some people have been asking me, do I think that Lin could be a leader? I think he can. Is he going to do it successfully? I don't know. Because, I still consider Lin's 24, but I still consider him to be a young guy. I mean, he only played, 50 games last year? I mean, he's still learning a lot just as much as a rookie is. I mean, that's the kind of thing about Lin. And, he was a leader at Harvard. So I know he can do it. But this is a totally different team, and I'm hoping that somebody else besides Lin is going to step up anyway. Like I said, it shouldn't just be Lin. You got shooting guard Kevin Martin on this team. I would like to see Kevin Martin step up and be a little bit more vocal. I would like to see Chandler Parsons be a little bit more vocal. And obviously, you got some other good young guys on the team that you went and drafted, like Jeremy Lin, like Terrence Jones, like Royce White, that hopefully can grow to be leaders and key members of this team. But Houston is a team who I feel like has the potential once again in the West to cause some issues. Do I think you're going to win the West? No. But I think you're a young team who can kind of cause a little bit of an uproar at times, similar to what people wanted Golden State to be, similar to what people wanted Sacramento to be, similar to what people want Denver to be, or Denver's gonna be. It's basically those are the things I'm looking for. Like I said, do I think that he can be a leader? Yes, I think he can, but I think he has to be a leader not only to his players but to himself. Take your time, do what you do best, and learn from all that you do. And that's the thing with Jeremy Lin. That's one of the first things of becoming a leader. Learning from all that you can, admitting when you're wrong, taking the responsibility. And I think Lin will do that. It'll just be interesting to see how the other teammates take it. Because like I said, this is a young team and he's young. And just see if anybody else steps up. Like I said, I'm always interested to see if somebody says they want to be a leader, who else is going to step up and say, I'm going to be that leader too? Like I said, Kevin Martin, it would be nice to see him step up. It'd also be nice to see Chandler Parsons step up and they become a group of leaders. It doesn't always just have to be one leader, so I would really love to see that. As for me, that's it for me today. I know this segment was kind of short. Not too much to talk about. Like I said, you got your NFL. Like I said, Monday Night Football last night. And then we had a little NBA news. But, I'll be back tomorrow with some more stuff to talk about. Don't worry. If you enjoyed the segment, please let me know. Make comments. Let me know if you agree or if you disagree. I sure want to hear your comments, constructive criticism, all that jazz. If you want to be a guest on my show, please contact me. All my contact information is on the credits. If you have a topic you want me to discuss, maybe I didn't bring up something, or you have a favorite team you want me to just break down, whatever the case may be sure to email me, tweet me, let me know what's going on, and I'll be happy to do that for you. Go check out MoneyballSportswear.com. I cannot stress that enough. Go check them out. They're a huge supporter of Sports Talk with L-Beasley and me, Lauren Beasley. But at the end of the day, you're going to love their clothes. If you love Nike, you love Under Armour, you're going to love Moneyball. It's even more affordable than Nike and Under Armour. So go check them out. You're going to love it. Once again, thank you for tuning in this segment, and I will see you guys tomorrow.